I dreamed I was sinking into an endless ribbon of mud, my shoes coming off over and over as I tried to trudge to dry land, but a corpse had its arms around my legs, and its face no more than a bloody pulp, the consistency of the mud it was a part of, called to me through the night air, howling like a banshee in the muck and the slime, engulfed me and pulled me and dragged me down, and it called through its faceless face, "Where are you? Where are you?" And somewhere ahead waited doors. Doors I could not gain, and more doors, and ever more doors, to ever muddier confines. I came to hog-tied in the mud with my head floundering in a sea of sparks and stars, orbited by the raging blaze of the river fire which raged beside my head. A multiplicity of strange characters were overpopulating my fragile subconscious to the breaking point. Where are you? Where are you? The moon was at its apogee, a distant orb circling in the distant distance. I recalled the distant headlights I'd spotted on the road, trailing me from afar ever after since I'd left St. Louis. I was banking on it being Lieutenant von Schimpowitz, but odds were it was one of Mr. Person's goons, maybe even Dr. Hanson and his equally freakish geezer companion. Whoever it was, I wondered if they'd caught up to me by now. I wondered if anyone else was around aside from me and...
He's doing coming to his consciousness. He's with the waking up happening thing, I think it is he's doing.
Oh, is he? Oh, really? Hey there, Gumshoe. Oh, boy, we gonna carve you up. My boys from downriver are due here in a short while. They was coming to a party, but I don't think they knew just how yummy a party it was gonna be. Wait until they show up and find you here. Tasty city boy, yeah. We's gonna take you all the way downriver to Mr. Poison. Yeah, he's due back your vampire whale tonight. We're gonna eat you alive. It's only a shame there ain't no more hooch for him. I done drank it all, but it was a sweet
But
special.
there is more hooch, dingbat.
Where?
My eyes narrowed on the shabby pork pie hat that perched on Dingbat's warbling, shivery head, and that's when it hit me. A plan. You don't actually go to Mr. Person's presence with that hat on, do you? That pathetic, pitiful, filthy hat.
What about it? Where's the hooch you're talking about? Where's this more white lightning?
He must think very poorly of you, dressing so poorly. Filthy, worldly man that he is.
Yeah, maybe because he ain't no man, that's for certain. Well, then I'll wear your hat. That one looks just fine. Suits me perfectly.
Oh, I don't think so. Stay away from my hat. No, get away. Oh, come on. It's practically as filthy as yours now that it's been lying in the mud.
Fine. That suits me perfectly. That's just great. Oh,
Dad, you look right pretty.
I'll take your hat and I'll take your
Dingbat.
white lightning too. Now, where's this more white lightning you speak of?
It's in my car. Yeah. It's in my car. Back by the road. Not too
I
far.
hate the road. I hate
By the road, by the highway.
Not as much as I hate not
Find a
having
bottle
a white
there.
light. All right, I'm going to get it. Hey, you watch him real good, Ratbone, all right?
Okay, I'll keep the eyes on the man.
He scrambled off into the trees to get the bottle. Ratbone kicked me in the ribs a couple times just to rib me for kicks. Then it was just the two of us, me and Ratbone, and the fire and the darkness and the stars and the crickets and the mud and the pain. I lay there and silently and waited to see if my plan would come out in any way beneficial.
We'll make that noise if Thor does that.
Sounded like a
I get to
gunshot
go
shut
get him.
off.
God, go help him.
I rolled myself over to the fire and tried to spread the rope from between my arms and legs and hold it there until it burned and snapped. Then I was up, and I was running towards my car as fast as I could. I was just hoping and praying that there wasn't any blood on my hat. Dingbat lay dead on the side of the road next to my car.
3 blood-lined bullet holes straight through his heart.
I made out some rear headlights speeding south down the road. I gave Ratbone the slip, grabbed my hat, and jumped in. And I was off, back to St. Louis. East St. Louis was a ghost town. Streets where ghosts walk in rehearsal for death or in lamentation of death. The soon-to-be dead no more lucid than the fresh killed. Some of them glowed neon in the rain-soaked shadows as though bewitched by a magic that animated their limbs. Electric pastel gelatinous banshees grinning at the death masks of their commonly life-drained company. Tormented grimaces, eyes of a tragic and sickly green light, alone, each one of them, lost. And on the streets they walked was filth. Xerox chicken bones, torn up plastic bag death masks, shattered mirrors and pebbled glass, satin tar stains of feathered carry-on, black rainbows of oil-slick pools, forgotten bottles empty of their poison, empty of their anesthetic. It was good to be home. I found myself shivering in front of the hotel room door of a girl who somehow existed on a plane both parallel and incongruous with the one that the rest of us walked. A girl with the cloudburst grimace of a unicorn on opium and moth dust, an ivory-cut cupid fluttering through salty acid rain-soaked thunderhedge, a girl who was you.
Harvey! You look like you've been run over by a 1928 Oshkosh Model H4x4 combination snowplow road grader dump truck.
Really? I don't feel that good.
That's not good, Harvey.
Besides, there were no Oshkosh combo snowplow dumpsters in 28.
Shut it.
The door or my mouth?
Both. Just make sure you're on my side first.
Your side of the door or mouth?
Shut the door and shut up.
She grabbed me and pulled me inside. She looked me over good and hard. That kind of a look is contagious, really.
Some boys get to have all the fun.
She walked across the room and her legs castrated me like a pair of scissors through hot butter.
How about a whiskey?
Sure, you like the whiskey, don't you, Miss Sterling?
I like you. Sure. The whiskey sets the mood.
Does the mood need setting?
Perhaps not. The setting certainly needs a mood, though.
Does it?
Of course. Otherwise, this dusty, rotten hotel room with the rain-stained wallpaper peeling like old snakeskin and the torn curtains bellowing in the breeze like the wisps and catkins of some sorrowful weeping willow, and the shaggy carpet with its map-like blotches left of past strangers' passless passings, and the bed unmade, never loved in, never dreamed in, though permanently befouled and rank, and the lamps screwed hard with broken light bulbs, and the secret shadows that paint the narrower spaces. This room is just that, a room, no more than a room. A prison for 2 lonely souls.
Are we lonely?
No, Mr. Lung, we are not lonely. I am lonely, and you are lonely, but we are nothing. Here's your drink.
Thanks, baby. Mind if I call you sweetheart, baby?
No.
Thanks, lovely.
No thing, baby.
Now listen, baby.
Talk to me, sweetheart.
Sit down. I've been reading the papers. The press says little to nix about you running away from home, so clearly your old man, what was his name?
Conway.
Conway, yeah, Mr. Moneybags. Apparently he's got a blanket on all of his affairs, not to mention the laminator. Apparently the press isn't aware of any homicide taking place there either. That means someone's got a hell of a lot of dollars stuffed in their mouths to keep 'em all quiet. Probably got some money stuffed in the law's mouth, too. From what I've read, your father has that kind of money. It's beginning to sound like maybe Mr. Person has that kind of money, too.
Apparently, if you can afford thugs to send after you.
Oh, you mean that old geezer who shared his banana with me?
Yuck, I hope that wasn't as bad as it sounds.
Oh, it was bad, all right. Well, maybe not quite as bad as it sounds. But it was bad. But I don't have to tell you that, Miss Sterling.
Why not?
Funny.
What are you getting at?
Some things are just too funny, and that's one of them. You know what your problem is, Melody? You're cute. Maybe a little too cute. You probably think that it matters. You know what comes after cute? Not cute. Sooner or later, cute has to amount to not cute, and people who are ensconced in their cuteness always seem surprised when ugly comes along. Well, guess what, baby? Ugly's here.
What are you talking about?
About how you knew about Mr. Person's thugs coming after me. That's fine, you knowing about it. But there's just one thing, Melody. I never told you about those old men. I'm calling you out. You and Mr. Person are tied together.
How dare you?
Pull yourself together, kid. You killed Bobby Doo-Wop. There was no Johnny and there never was one. You killed Bobby and tried to pin it on me with that picture. The picture you took of me down by the body. The picture of the body that you killed. The body of Bobby Doo-Wop. He tried to mug you in the laminator or somewhere along the way, and you rubbed him. The poor sap thought he was going to get him a fat wad of schmackers and a crystal skull to boot. Turns out he just got himself dead.
It's lies. You've got me all wrong. I would never. Oh, I love you, Harvey. Let's go away.
Nuts, be quiet.
Let's go away, so far away, just you and me.
Jerkwater.
Where no one can ever find us, away from the laminator and the Mississippi
Go
River
on.
and the mud, away from all the murder, away from St. Louis to a place where we can be at peace and in love forever. You and me, Harvey, a team. We'll have times, Harvey. Glorious high times. Glorious high times.
High, glorious times.
Oh, can't you see, Harvey? Can't you understand that I had to do it? That I had to get away? I couldn't stay in that awful place with those awful people. Oh, Harvey, I don't know how I can say it. Mr. Person, he was my husband. He was my husband, Harvey. We met at one of his clubs in New Orleans one night. We were married the next day. My father was never privy to the union. He thought I'd just run away from home for the weekend again, something I've tended to do about twice a year or more, ever since I was 13. Oh, and I know I'm all grown up now, but Father doesn't know. He doesn't understand. If he had his way, I'd be under his thumb, his old gray wing, until the day he died. He tries to hold me with money, can't you see? Then I met Mr. Person. Oh, I never wanted it that way, Harvey. I never wanted it like that at all. But he was dangerous and glamorous and intriguing, and I'm just this nice girl from a sheltered youth. I never got to see a thing of the world unless it was riddled with sunshine, dazzled with sugar, sprinkled with love, emanating rainbows and winged horses, and lavished and cascading waterfalls, and cotton candy clouds for me to tiptoe through, and green, green grass, and bright, bright golden lined snow-white linens.
Sounds pretty nice.
Oh, it was nice. Everything was nice. My father was nice, my servants were nice, my schooling, nice, everything nice. It drove me crazy. I wanted to punch myself in the stomach, to scribble my entire naked body with lipstick, to throw myself in front of a train. Oh, it was so awful. Then I met Mr. Person. And he showed me complexity. He showed me the skull behind the mask, and all the honey-coated world that I knew bled black, and I loved it, and I bled too, and it was good. He made me a night owl, a tigress, a nymph, a sphinx, a harpy, a succubus, a vamp. He showed me fear and lust and rage and life, but it turned out to be more than I could bear. He was a terror, an insatiable lunatic, ever thirsty for more blood, more tears, more bile, you name it, more. What a liquid nightmare! Oh, I had to get away.
And you used me to get to Mr. Person. You took that picture so you could blackmail me, and you tried to make me think it was Mr. Person doing it. It would have been a perfect plan, too, Melody. You would have had me right under your thumb doing all your dirty work, whatever that might be. Maybe use me to exact your revenge on Mr. Person.
But those two geezers weren't working for Mr. Person. They were working for you.
I recognized that gadget in one of the codger's ear to be the same as the gadget that was next to your camera. Some de Bergerac you are. You were feeding him his lines.
Well, if you recognize that wire, maybe you'll also recognize this.
She came up with the gun, the 6-shot 25 caliber automatic finished blue with checkered walnut medallion grips. But I had a gun too. My Bang Bang was a Term Ruger Alaskan model double-action revolver, 44 Magnum caliber, 2.5-inch barrel, stainless construction, black rubber grip, 6-shot fluted cylinder, one-piece barrel frame assembly with an adjustable rear sight.
I love you.
She fell into my
I
arms.
love you. I love you. Oh, I love you. Ever since I walked through that door of yours, ever since I saw you and heard your voice and smelled the mystery that fills your rooms and engulfs you, ever since that mystery engulfed me, sometimes I think I loved you even before all that, before all of this, before I ever met you, oh, I love you. God, how I love you. My God, I love you. I love you. I love